here's the thing that you girls need to understand. When your seller asks you for feedback, like, well, how's that agent? How were they through this process? What did they do compared to this agent over here? Since there's 2 offers neck and neck, you bet your ass I'm going to tell them this is what happened. Oh, right. This is Kara's biggest pet peeve, I think.
I'm sorry. I don't like dumb people. I'm just going to put it out there. Y'all are my people. Y'all are here. You're learning. You're getting better. You're my people. Dumb people, not my people. Just that's the thing.
Yeah, totally.
Fail to read the broker and the showing instructions. Ladies, and you all know this. You guys list houses too, right? Like when you take the time to go and you put showing instructions and broker remarks in MLS, I'm taking my time as a listing agent to do that. I totally expect the buyer's agents to take the time to read that information, right? So if my showing instructions say no showings before Friday at 10 a.m., that's because there's no showings before Friday at 10 a.m. Please don't go into showing time to try to schedule a showing for Thursday at 5 p.m., which we're going to talk about that in a minute too. But just read the broker remarks, right? Just read.
Right.
Just read.
And it can be simple. Yeah. I mean, you probably have in there like, text me for just an example. Text me if you have a question or whatever. And then you call them. Like, that's not a good way to start off. Like, it's the little things that really make a difference.
Right. Yeah. Like, I think that's actually a really great point, Lauren, is like your showing on the listing is the beginning of our relationship together, right? That's the beginning of our relationship together. So like when I have 20 offers to choose from, if I have 2 that are at the top and one of the showing agents or the buyer's agents is a complete train wreck, and the other one is like following instructions to a T, they're providing valuable showing feedback. They're, you know what I mean? They're doing all the things that we ask them to do. Yes, absolutely. I will
tell your sellers that, right? You're going to go, this person is so put together. They're so professional. I see no red flags. This is going to be a great transaction. Every time. Every time. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
And the other part that frustrates me is if it says in the offer instructions, don't send me a .loop offer link, because guess what? My email likes to send those to spam.
Yeah, absolutely. So just follow whatever's in there. We have some more detailed things like that, Jamie, later. But yes, Here's another one. Please don't cycle dial me because you didn't make sure that you had the code, or you can't get the lockbox to open, or any of those things. Like, honestly, right? Like, how many times I can tell you with every single listing, there's always 2 or 3 people at least that are freaking out at the front door because I can't get my app to open. I can't get, I didn't write down the combo code and now I can't get my showing time app to open. I can't do this. I can't do that. Right? Like, just make sure that you have the access to get in the house.
You know what happens on this a lot? Well, not a lot, but when it does happen, oh man, it burns me up. So there's another agent, right, that comes from a different area. They get here and they're blowing you up, right? Because they're like, I didn't realize it was on Supra. I don't even have a Supra key.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, girls. If you don't have a Supra key, I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, I know some markets don't use them. If you're showing outside your market, like, make sure that you know how to get in those properties in the area that you're showing. Because that's what I find when this comes up the most.
Gosh, yeah, that's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Or like, I can't get in the house. The key doesn't work. Really? It worked for the 50 agents before you.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, you guys know that just happened to me like last weekend, right? I was on the phone with you guys and I'm like, this agent is calling and texting me because she can't get the key to open. I'm like, it opened 74 other times today. I know it works. Oh my goodness. All right. Y'all are getting like the real and raw version this morning, aren't you?
Yeah, we're tired, so we're extra sassy this morning.
Speaking of showing out a market.
Yeah. Don't do this. Don't do it. Don't call the listing agent and say, hey, I'm too far away or I'm on vacation. Can you let my clients in? No, girl. Find somebody to let your clients in. Find a showing agent. Call another agent that's affiliated with your brokerage somewhere locally. Like for us, that could be, you know, I can technically sell in Raleigh. I'm not going to, but I wouldn't call the listing agent. I would call Jamie. I'd be like, hey, Jamie, I've got so-and-so in Raleigh. Can you pop this house for me? You know?
Right. Absolutely.
You're
So speaking of
automatically No, I was just going
Go
to say
ahead.
you're already like at this point, you're already basically telling that agent that like you're too far away. You're not educated on this particular market.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Right.
I should
right.
not wear crop tops. I could, but I should not wear those. So I don't.
You don't
You
want me
can.
wearing one either.
We show houses probably anywhere in your state. It doesn't mean you should.
Right. Right. Totally. I shouldn't and I won't
Yeah, exactly.
wear the crop top.
Oh my
Sun up.
gosh. Oh, what about this one? Make up a story as to why your client needs access to the home early, because I have never seen so many dead family members as I have since I started real estate. Literally, I know that's kind of sad to say that, but like literally, I get so many phone calls. My client has to leave town because they're going to a funeral. My client has to leave town because they're going on vacation. My client's only in town for 12 hours. They have to see this house right now. Y'all, like, we know that's not true. And if it is, like, so I don't know what to tell you. Like, so this is like for real. When you call me to tell me this, the way that I interpret this is you and your clients believe that their needs are above and beyond what my clients, my sellers' needs are. And that is going to be the behavior you're going to experience throughout the entire transaction. You may not mean it that way as a buyer's agent. In fact, as a buyer's agent, you might feel like, oh, if I can just get my clients in early, we're going to have a better shot at this house, right?
No.
Like, I truly believe that's probably the mentality on it, but that's not how it come across to me as listing it to us as listing agents. I mean, you guys list houses too. It probably doesn't come across to you guys that way.
No.
But what it comes across as is, I'm willing to cut my mother to get into this house, and I will do it to you the whole way through this transaction too, right?
It makes you put your boxing gloves on, or at least kind of scratch your head a little. Like, really, girl?
Yes.
So you know what you could do in this situation, right? Because I am all about like winning all the way around. So what if you text the listing agent and text, right? Don't blow them up. Just text them and say, hey, I realize you say you're not doing showings until 10. I really want to, or, you know, May 10th, whatever. I really want to respect that. But I did just want to let you know my clients are super eager. They're excited about this house. You did a great job with the photography. If something changes, let me know.
That's such a good script, Lauren. That is so perfect.
She's so good at that. That's her high eye, man.
Yes.
So good.
No, it is so good. I love that.
Superpower.
Y'all go back and watch. Oh, you can't because you're on the recording call. Oh, we'll put that in the group. We'll put that in the group.
It shows them that you're extremely interested, that you're being respectful, but that your clients are serious, right? So
yep.
Find a way around it.
Well, and this is also the thing too, like, and we like Lauren said, I mean, I know I'm joking. We always want to accommodate everybody when we can, right? Like we don't like, we're not really that mean. We're kind of, we're a little out on a limb today, but like set the right expectations for your buyers, honestly, right? This is all about setting those expectations right at the very beginning. Like, look, if your buyers have to be in a house by the end of this month, they should choose not to go out of town for a week out of that month, right? Like that is just the thing. Or they should be prepared to make an offer based on photos, FaceTime video, 3D tour, right? Everybody has choices. Your buyers are making them, right? Your buyers are making their choice by doing whatever it is they're doing that is not allowing them to get into the house. So I get it. It's hard. We all work buyers too, right? Like we've had buyers that we've been showing for 12 weeks. And then of course, like the one house that they love comes up when they're, you know, at grandma's, you know, 50th or 90th birthday party or whatever. So we get it, but Just realize how it comes across. That's all. Use Lauren's phrasing. She's smart.
I try.
Oh, I think we got that one twice. Okay. Oh,
That's okay. Oh, this one. Oh, this one. This is my pet peeve, y'all. This one's my pet peeve. Can I dive into this one?
Please do.
Oh, I'm gonna get spicy. Don't disrespect the seller's home, their property, or the showing requirements. Yes, I'm talking to you, buyer's agents that have clients that have unruly children that go run around the house, jump up and down on the couches and the beds, go out into the backyard, get all muddy, and track them back into the house all muddy. You guys have to set a precedence with your buyer's agent or with your buyers as a buyer's agent to let them know what they need to expect from the showing. If I get it, like I have kids, right? I understand that sometimes little ones have to come to showings. I get it. Sometimes what I recommend is having one parent maybe out front with the kids while one is touring and swap, or bring along a tablet, or as a buyer's agent, have a cute little coloring book or something that the kids can like be entertained. Sometimes I do that too, where I'll sit there with the kids while the parents are looking and looking at the house. You have to do what you can to set that precedence with the buyers. Otherwise, they'll disrespect the home. And let me tell you, like 75%, I'm kind of making that up. 75% of sellers have cameras now.
Yeah, it's a lot.
A lot. It is a lot. I don't know the statistic. I would like to pull it up, but I'm just saying there is a lot of people that have cameras now, whether it be in the backyard, their Ring doorbell camera, a nanny cam somewhere inside, baby monitors that they can access from their phone. You have to know and treat your clients as such that they're being watched 24/7 and let them know that. You got to let them know that.
Hey, also on this, that might be a good time to pull out that little kids buyer's agreement. Remember, we're not above bribing.
Yeah.
Here's a little buyer. I mean, run it by the parents first, right? Like, hey, I do this with all my clients that have kids. I think Tara's like, do X, Y, and Z through the process. And Miss Tara's going to give you like a movie gift card, Some of it is like, stay off the beds when we're in the houses, right? Like just straight up with them. It's part of your process, right?
Yep. Absolutely. Speaking of bribing, a great thing that you can do is you guys can go to like the dollar store or the party store and buy those like mega packs of like rando bouncy balls and like little figurines and stuff like that. It's literally $10 and you get like 40 things. You can say, if you behave during our showings today, you can pull something out of the prize pack, right? It's so cheap for you. And you can remind the kids of that as we're going through without feeling like you're parenting. You can just say like, remember, we have a prize, at the end of this, like when they're acting up, remember, we have a prize at the end of this. If you behave the whole way through. So don't lose out on your opportunity to get a prize. Right. So
here's my pro tip.
Yeah.
Do we have an affiliate link yet with All Things Real Estate? Because if not, we should.
Yeah, we should.
Because I have these. They're called the Little House Adventure Journals.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, they've got like outside scavenger hunts, coloring pages. How would you decorate your room in this house? If you don't have the money to buy these, make it. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
We might need to make one of them. Just saying.
I know. Girls with Grit edition, right?
Oh, gosh. You could add that to our plate of content creation. Let's go, girls.
All righty. Next one is, don't be a secret agent. It is not a fun surprise to get an offer that you completely weren't expecting at the last minute, right? Like I know this has happened to y'all. It's happened to me a million times, right? Like sometimes I feel like the buyer agent thinks it's going to be like a welcome surprise, right? Like, ta-da, you have this amazing offer, right? It makes the listing agent look like they don't know what the heck is going on with the offer process, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a client who is planning on making an offer on a house, right? Just reach out. Be like, hey, just wanted to let you know, you guys should be reaching out anyways, right? Because that's one of our buying power checklist items, is to make sure that you're reaching out to the listing agent and getting any information that you can. During that process, even if you're not sure that you guys are going to submit an offer, just say, hey, they're considering an offer right now. We're 50-50 on an offer right now, blah, 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 blah. I will let you know when we send an offer over. I'll send you a text message, right? Whatever verbiage you want to use.
I have a ninja move on this. Listen, y'all, this is some elite coaching status move right here. I'm just saying, but I'm going to share it with you. Okay. This is what I do. If you know your client is 100% going to make an offer, I put it in the showing time remarks because I know that that seller is going to get that showing time thing because they're looking for the feedback. And I even put my buyer's name in it. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Rocco love this house. They think that your seller did an amazing job with the kitchen renovation. Please be on the lookout for an offer from Mr. and Mrs. Rocco. I put the name in there. I put the fact that they're bringing an offer because guess what? They're going to, when they go to look at the 20 offers that they have, they're like, well, where's the offer from the Rocco fam? Because they said they were bringing one because the sellers want to see all the offers, right? Mm-hmm. So I do that. So there you go.
That's so smart, Lauren. That's like a great way too, to like make sure that you're not getting skirted by a dual agent, making, you know what I mean? Doing both sides of the deal. No, that's super duper smart.
I want to also, sorry, I'm talking a lot today on this. Let me tell you a real life situation that just happened to me a couple weeks ago. I had already verbally negotiated. I say verbally because in North Carolina, we don't have one of those like offer rejection forms. Yeah. We had gone back and forth. Everybody was good. Everybody was good. And then the secret agent comes in with an offer that's $20,000 over the other offer.
I remember this.
I had already told the agent, we're good to go, but I have to get signatures, right? It's not a done deal until you have signatures. I didn't want to be that agent. I didn't want to be that agent that was like, hey, sellers, guess what? We have another offer. But I had to present the offer because when you have an offer and you don't have signatures, you have to present it. So I had to present it, and my sellers chose to go with the one that swooped in after this other buyer's agent had already told their clients, which by the way, never do that.
Don't do that.
Already told her clients that they got the house. It put me in a really, really bad spot. And even though it wasn't like intentional from that other agent, it put me in a bad spot. We closed the deal with them, but I wasn't happy about having to be that way, you know? And had she not been a secret agent, had she been like offers coming, you know, at least like had some sort of communication, I could have done that timeline a little bit better. So real life situation.
Hey, I want to touch on this comment too that came through. I hope I'm saying her name right, Trevette. I actually, one of my preferred lenders does this too, where she'll create BombBomb videos and send them to the listing agent on behalf of our buyer clients. So make sure that you have someone that can also do those same, you know, ninja moves.
That's smart. I like it.
Absolutely. Love that. All right. Oh, also, you should make sure you use spell check, right? Unlike me. Don't be like Tara. Use spell check.
Pull. We got it.
Okay. We got it. If you can read this. Okay. Submit your offer, your pre-approval, your love letter, etc. in multiple emails. That is literally the most annoying thing, right? Because we have 20 offers. Okay, it's the number of offers are waning, right? I feel like we're kind of past like the 50 offer stage, but don't submit those in separate emails, because do you know how hard it is when you're managing 10, 20, 40 offers and you're getting 3 to 4 emails per offer because the buyer's agent couldn't just submit everything all at once. So submit your offer, your pre-approval letter. We say love letter. You probably shouldn't be doing those anymore anyways, but proof of funds, anything that you have should be submitted in one email and preferably as one PDF, right? If you're in a market where you don't have a submission system, and you're just sending these as PDFs, like one PDF. You guys can use, I love PDF, small PDF. There's 1,000 PDF softwares out there that will combine PDFs for you to turn it into one PDF. So another thing too, if for some reason you've submitted an offer and now you're resubmitting, like let's say your buyers decided they wanted to come up or whatever the case may be, resubmit the whole package again, right? So don't just resubmit your increased offer. Resubmit everything all together again. Your offer, your pre-approval letter, even though you already sent it once before, send it again all together. I'm telling you, you guys will be the listing agent's best friend if you just make it easy on them.
Yep. Totally.
All right.
Oh.
This is my fault.
I had one like last month. She called me 3 times at 6:15 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not kidding you.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you're up and working, please don't expect me to be up and working. I have kids that I have to get out the door and get to school. A 6:15 a.m. call, I will return your call probably at 9 a.m. after I'm done, getting the kids off to school and doing what I need to do in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be that agent. You're just going to piss them off.
I know. And look, I know that this is like a polarizing argument, right? Because I see this on like Real Estate Mastermind and all those other junk groups, like literally where it's like, don't call me before 7 a.m. And then there's somebody that's always like, well, turn on your do not disturb. If you don't want to be bothered, turn on your do not disturb. Look, y'all, I have 2 kids, one of which that only lives at my house half the time, right? Because he's at his mom's house the other half the time. I have a grandmother, right, who is in her 80s that is failing health. There are a million things in my life where I can't just always choose the people that I like, because they're like, oh, well, you can choose who you get calls from. Look, I'm going to tell you guys, if my grandmother has a health issue in the middle of the night, I don't know where they're going to call me from. I don't know who's going to call me. I don't know what hospital it's going to be, if it's going to be an ambulance, if it's going to be a firefighter. Same thing with my kids, right? If my kid, is out at a friend's party or something like that, I don't know who's calling me. I can't turn my phone on do not disturb, right? So it is a really, really simple thing. Just email instead, right? Just if you have something that needs to happen before 7 a.m. or after 10 p.m., just email it, right? Or put it in your own damn phone to remember to call me at 7:30 in the morning, right?
How about this, Tara, where a buyer's agent sends you an offer at midnight and then is texting you at 6 a.m. Did you present my offer yet? I'm sorry. You sent the offer at midnight and it's 6 a.m. What was I supposed to do? Present it in my sleep? Right. I literally have had that happen before. Don't be that agent, please.
Yeah, please don't. This is the deal, and this is kind of how we feel about it. And I'm not saying y'all on this call, because y'all on this call are the A team, but like, just because somebody else doesn't have boundaries in their business doesn't mean I don't, right? And right now, when we're in a really deep seller's market, the listing agent holds the cards, right? So you want to just don't do little stuff like this that's going to hurt your chances of getting an offer going, right? Because I'll tell you what, the person that's messaging me at 5:30 in the morning, like I'm going to present their offer. I'm obligated to do so. But do you think I'm going to put any pizzazz around it if I know that listing agent is going to be doing this to me for the next 30 days? Heck no. Heck no. I'm like, yeah, that's great. We should probably counter this other one and see if we can get it up, right?
We say it tongue in cheek. At the end of the day, we present all offers. But it's the thing that you girls need to understand. When your seller asks you for feedback, like, well, how's that agent? How were they through this process? What did they do compared to this agent over here? Since there's 2 offers neck and neck, you bet your ass I'm going to tell them this is what happened. You're asking me.
It holds the same weight as a mortgage officer. You know what I mean? Like, you work with certain lenders because they communicate, they're professional, they get to the closing table. Same thing with other agents. Mm-hmm. We all have the same goal. We want to get to closing. So don't do things that'll jeopardize that.
And this goes back to showing instructions, right? And broker remarks in your MLS. If those are your office hours, put them in there. It's okay to do that. It's okay to say, look, I respond to texts and emails from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. unless it's a deadline or something. You know what I mean? Like, you can figure out what verbiage you want to use, but that's totally okay. There is no such thing as an emergency in our business, in real estate, right? The only emergencies are created by us. We're the ones as a group, as a whole, that are like, offers due by 9 p.m. on Sunday. What the heck? You're like literally begging to have to work until 10 p.m. on a Sunday night. Like, why are you doing that? Don't do that.
Right.
Yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, Tara, what you said. One of my very first mentors early on in my career told me, real estate is a slow-moving giant. It is a slow-moving giant. In the rare instance when a lender's like, I need this now, or we're not funding and we can't close, obviously that's a 911 type of thing. But for 98% of the time, up until the point, you get under contract or whatever, real estate is a slow moving giant. There's not anything that can't wait 1 hour or 2 hours or whatever it is for you to respond to clients, to other agents. We just have to remember to be professional and respect other agents' time, because nothing is more irritating than having your phone off the hook because somebody else is just blowing you up, right? It's like ridiculous.
Yep.
So
you can also put that, Terry, you mentioned putting it in the agent notes, but put it again in the offer instructions. Like set the expectation there too. Those are the people going to be bringing you offers, right?
Yep.
That hopefully looked at the offer instructions. So put it again on that sheet of paper.
Yep. Oh, this is another one. Woo!
I ain't scared to say it. I'm not scared.
I'm like, what do I say?
Look, you guys, again, this is about educating your buyers, right? So has everyone in this call probably had a decent experience with one of these lenders? You probably have, but I can guarantee you for every one good experience I had, I got 9 or 10 bad ones that I can tell you about, right? So here's the deal. I mean, we're kind of calling out these couple of companies, but we're allowed to because we're talking about our past experience. And if I have 2 equal offers and one of them has some like rocket to the moon mortgage or quick, not so quick mortgage or like whatever, and I have another one that is like a local lender that has an office here in town that I know that I can stomp into if stuff's hitting the fan on the day before closing, I am absolutely sharing with my sellers the benefits of having a local office, local underwriter, preferred, whatever it is that you want to call it, right? So because this is and for those of you, I know we got a lot of new girls on the call too. So this is what happens with these bigger companies, right? They're this big conglomerate. You don't typically have one point of contact, right? Because you move from department to department to department, right? So you start out with like their pre-qual department. Well, you start out with like an online form, right? And then you get your pre-qual there. And then you move to the processing, right? And so you don't have like one point of contact the whole way through. So when you don't have figures and it's the day before closing, you literally, the only thing that you can do is call an 800 number. That is your only solution. And it is really difficult. Yeah.
Ooh, Lauren, I want to hear Lauren's response to this question. This is good. How do you get your buyers to agree to use a local lender?
I say, I'm gonna send you an email with a couple of options. The top is my favorite, just so you know. And then I say, yeah, she's been. I use Bonnie Jackson. Some of y'all know Bonnie. She's awesome. Or I have them as a contact in my phone. I share the contact. Obviously, you tell them you can use whoever you want, but this is my experience, and I expect you to call and get a couple of different quotes. They're not going to. Most of the time, they're going to go with who you recommend. And I just tell them, I tell them the truth. I've had horrible experiences with online banks. I recommend you use somebody local. This is somebody that I use. I trust them. They've never let me down.
Yeah. The other part of that, part 2 to that, is I always tell my clients, listen, this listing agent on this house you love is the top agent that I respect. And they know the difference between an online company and a local lender. And if your offer is up against one other offer and they see your lending letter with one of these other companies versus local with the other offer, and you're stacked up against them, that's a minus point for you. And I don't want you to put you in that position. I can't force you to use any lender. You can use whoever you want. But in my experience, this person right here, who's the local lender, has phenomenal customer service. I can call her at 8 p.m. when there's a 911 situation and I need it rectified right then and there. She will answer my call.
And here's the bottom line: you can't control it, right? If they are just set on using Quicken, they're going to be set on using Quicken or somebody else. Like, we're not trying to pick on them, but just make sure that you've let that listing agent know. Like, I would go ahead and just like call out the elephant in the room personally. I would say, hey, I realize that their pre-approval is with Rocket Mortgage. They've shopped it. They're totally like, hopefully you've got you've got the stuff to back it up. Usually if they're going with one of these, they've already shopped it against some other people, and they're going with these people not because they give them a warm fuzzy, but because of the rate. So I would just be straight up with the listing agent, hey, they're really focused on this rate. They want to go with this company. I've already called and vetted and talked to their contact there. They're good to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Let's see here.
Oh, real quick, I want to answer this question because I think there's a lot of new girls on this call, and there might be some of you that will take a nugget away from what I'm about to say. The reason why this buyer probably had the idea of, I already applied with Rocket Mortgage, I don't want to apply with anyone else. The reason why is because in their mind, they think it's going to ruin their credit score. You need to educate them and let them know that as long as they're getting their credit pulled and shopping lenders within a certain amount of time frame, it's usually 14 days, give or take, their credit score is not going to get ding, ding, ding because they're shopping around. So you need to educate them and let them know. Once you tell them that, they're like, oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah, go ahead and call this lender and ask them, let them know that you already shopped with Rocket. You don't want your credit to get dinged again. And they will go ahead and explain that to you that it's not the case. So just know that you have that tool in your tool belt to have those conversations with them to overcome that objection.
Right.
Absolutely. All right. Asking for things that are not included to be included. So I know sometimes what happens is these buyers, they go through the houses, right? And they're like, and they're like, oh my God, I love that chandelier. That chandelier is so awesome. And then when you go to write the offer, the chandelier is not included, right? Like it's like this big badass like restoration hardware chandelier. And you're like, dang it, this is why they love this house, was this chandelier. I'm just going to ask for it. Oh, we can ask for it. It's no big deal, right? So, and I'm just using the chandelier as an example, but don't give the listing agent / seller a reason to have to counter you. Right. Does that make sense?
Not in this market.
Not in any, honestly, in any market. I will just be honest with you, in any market, unless it's like a real deep buyer's market, even when we're like balanced markets, like unless that's a deal breaker, unless the chandelier is truly a deal breaker for your clients, I would never write that in the offer.
I wouldn't either, Tara. It's more of like, hey, Tara, I just wrote up an offer. I'm emailing it to you, or I just emailed it to you. By the way, my buyers loved that entry chandelier. I know that your sellers put that it's, excluded from the deal, but I just want to let you know if they are open to leaving that, my buyers would love that. Otherwise, I didn't write it in the offer, but I just wanted to let you know.
So I think on this, if they're specific about it not being included, that's one thing. If you're in a deep buyer's market and they love the patio furniture and it's been on the market for 60 days and you're not in multiple offers, that's a totally different situation.
Different story. No. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Totally. I'm talking about things that are specifically listed as being excluded that like the buyers are asking for. You know what I mean? When it's like, okay, the freaking, I mean, I don't even know, the fire pit, right? On the patio. Yeah. Yes, it's connected to the gas line. Yes, it's bolted to the deck. Yes, that seller spent $2,000 on it 2 months ago and they want to take it to their new house because they, that like, that's kind of, And Deanne, this is great. I always tell sellers to remove it.
In a perfect world, that's the perfect situation. Have them remove something that's excluded before photos. But sometimes in Tara's case, they don't get around to removing that big, heavy, freaking, outdoor whatever item. So sometimes we just have to go that route B where you're saying it's not included in the deal.
Right. And same thing when I'm going through the house with clients, with buyers, and they're like, hey, can we ask for the artwork? I'm just straight. You guys have to you got to like have some balls and be honest with these people, right? Like, no, we're not asking for the artwork. Do you want to win this house? And if they're like, yeah, I love the house. Is the artwork a deal breaker? Well, no. Well, then we're not putting it in the offer. We will negotiate the artwork after we're under contract. I'm happy to ask for it, but let's keep it separate. We're going to do the offer and then we'll ask for the artwork. And most of them are like, all right, cool.
Yeah, you got to help guide your clients too, man. Come on.
Because I know when I was new in this, it's real easy as you're going around these houses. You want to appease them, right? So they're like, can we ask for the artwork? And you're like, well, sure, we can ask for it. Because you don't want to make them mad or you don't want to But really, you're just you're doing a disservice to them by not being honest about the process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, and we always tell you guys, call the listing agent, right? When you're a buyer, call the listing agent. You want to create rapport with them. That's a great way to create rapport, opposed to being like, how many offers do you have? Like, don't call and ask about offers. Call and ask and just say, look, I know this is going to be kind of weird, but like, my buyer loves that picture that is in the dining room. Like, is there any, like, do you think that your sellers would let that go at all? Would it be cool if we put that in the offer? And you know what I mean? Just like create that, like, that's something you can create a conversation out of. Like, don't call me and ask me how many offers are on my house. Does it matter? Does it matter if there's 2 or if it's 10? Really? Yeah. Because really, when you're asking that question, what you're telling me is, if I say 2, you're going to give me a lesser offer than if I say 10. Does that, like, that's how that computes, right? So anyways, that was completely different, but ask for things that are not included to be included.
Especially in this market, you cannot expect to get a counter offer. Actually, that's a thing for not just new agents. There are some seasoned agents that will go, well, how come you didn't just counter me? Why did you just go and take that other offer? I'm like, I'm sorry. I think the sellers can take any offer they want.
Right.
They don't need to counter you.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing when they're like, but you didn't call for highest and best, or highest and, what do we call it now?
Best and final.
Best and final. Sorry. Police over here. NAR. But same thing. We're not required to do that. And neither is the seller. So if a really good offer comes in, they can take that offer. So in this market, for sure, you got to come out swinging. Again, comes down with setting expectations with your clients. Is this the very best you're going to do? If you found out you lost this house over $5,000, are you going to be kicking yourself? Mm-hmm. If the answer is yes, you need to go up $5,000.
Yep. Especially in this market.
Right.
Or concessions or whatever. That goes back to, don't be asking for the chandelier. If you really want it that bad, we'll negotiate it after we're under contract.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Don't fight me. Don't fight me on my listing. That's how it feels, right? It feels like, oh, don't try to flex, right? Don't try to flex and bully the seller into an accelerated acceptance, right? And look, this happens all the time, right? Like, your buyers are like, okay, so, because you're fighting all the other offers too, right? Like, as a buyer's agent, there's going to be 25 offers on this house. And so you're like, okay, well, let's do this. Let's go in 40,000 over. We're going to do pass fail inspection. We're going to pay the full appraisal guarantee. We're going in guns blazing. And we're going to be like, but we want an acceptance by Saturday afternoon. Right? When the seller has clearly said, we're going to accept offers through such and such a date. Right? So again, this is about setting the tone for your relationship with the seller, with the listing agent, and all of that. So if you go in there and you're cutting off their submission deadline, you're saying, my needs are highest and best. Your needs are not important. Your desires, right? You're saying, like, I'm not interested in a win-win situation. I'm interested in me winning. Yeah. Right? Is essentially what you're saying. So there are ways to get around this. Can I do like a ninja? Can I do a ninja coach?
I know where you're going.
Go ahead. Do your ninja move.
It's a good one.
It is.
I know it is.
So this is what you do, y'all. If this is where you guys are at with your offer, right? You could put something, if you wanted to, in the additional provisions that says, if this offer was accepted by Saturday at 7 p.m., let's say, then our offer automatically increases by $20,000. If this offer is not accepted by then, our offer reverts to the price listed in section of your contract. Right? So what you're saying is like, and then you put the acceptance deadline as what the listing agent asked, right? Because then what you're saying is like, look, I want to be respectful of what you guys are trying to do here. We understand that's what the market is like. But like, if you were inclined to take my offer for this bonus, then I'm happy to give you some extra money, right? Like, go to Mexico, girlfriends. Like, do your thing. Like, I'm going to give you more money, right? So I'll tell you that this doesn't, I'll be 100% honest. It doesn't work 100% of the time because it's kind of like an escalation clause. You're kind of showing your hand a little bit, right? Like that's the downside of it. However, I can't think of a time it hasn't at least opened up a conversation between me and the listing agent.
Yeah,
I've never gotten straight ghosted on an offer if I include that in the verbiage, right? So they're at least going to say, first of all, they don't understand it most of the time. They've never seen it before. And they're like, okay, so wait a minute. I just want to understand what you're trying to say here. And so you get to have that conversation and you get to explain it. And you get to say, look, we want to be respectful of you guys. We want to respect what the sellers want. Like you get to convey that to the listing agent verbally. But also, we also are willing to pay more. And then you and your buyers just have to decide, like, are you going to dig your feet in if they don't accept it by that time frame, right? Or are you still maybe willing to do that after the time frame? Because if you go past the deadline, let's say again that you're saying, okay, well, if you accept it by Saturday night, we'll give you 20,000 extra. You could always go back with a new offer on Sunday morning at that higher price too, if you wanted to. Does that make sense? So like if they don't take it and you want the sellers to know, okay, actually our offers are still on the table. So I would say make sure that you clear this through whatever your state, whatever, like get legal advice or whatever I'm supposed to say here so that you don't get in trouble. But but it would read something like this. It would say, if our offer is accepted by Saturday at 7 p.m., this offer will automatically increase by X dollars.
Right.
If this offer is not accepted by then, our offer reverts back to the price listed in section of your contract, whatever section that is in your contract. Somebody's saying that would be over appraisal price. That literally has nothing to do with the appraisal price. That is just your offer price, right? So it has nothing to do with the appraisal.
I just dropped in the comments for those girls who are asking. We actually have a offer buying power checklist, and the thing that Tara just mentioned is one of the ways that you can try to get your offer accepted. In that checklist, it's how many point checklist? I forget at this point, but go snag it. I dropped a link. It's free, and it'll help you win writing offers.
Yeah, if you take that and you take this call, you're set. You're set up for success. And that's free, you guys. So go download it. It's good.
All right.
I think some girls asking for emails. You don't need an email. Just click the link and you'll get our free offer checklist.
Thank you, Andrea, for dropping that. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. I think that was the last one. I think that was actually more than 10 ways. If I went back and counted, I think that's more than 10 ways.
12.
That's okay. We're extra.
We're tired.
I'm extra feisty today.
Yeah, we are.
All right.
All right. Go out there and be bosses like we know you can.
That's it. All right. See y'all later.
Bye, y'all.